Coach?
Yeah, first thing, just number one, Banks from their team found out that he was okay. I guess he was back in the locker room as well. Scary moment, all right, just to start the game off, and just glad that he's okay, number one. Overall, I told our guys that they played hard, and they came out, and for 4 quarters, we tried to play physical, we tried to play fast, and against a good football team. So I was proud of our guys for that. And I thought we got off to a fast start. Did some good things from that standpoint in the first quarter. Second half, was an area where we know we have to improve just throughout this year, and that kind of showed up again in the game. But Robbie did some good things tonight. Threw the ball well, had some yards, so that was good to see. And I think the tail of the game comes down to the turnovers, is what it comes down to when you look at the numbers there. We put the ball on the ground too many times, and then they won the turnover battle, and that's going to be a huge factor in the game, when it's all said and done. So, again, it goes back to really just matter of fact in football. I think our guys were working this week very hard to go out there and perform and to play well, and they showed that tonight. But some of those things just added up in the game, and LSU's a good football team. They're well coached. They played hard. They made the plays that they were able to make, and they put themselves in a position to win the game. So we had our opportunities, and now for us, we got to go back and look at, all right, what is it that we did well? What are the things we got to work on? And then we got to close that gap. We got to find ways to finish and play 4 quarters. So all the things that I've said before, and the things that really do matter. Those are things that are going to change the game. So disappointed for our players, and know those guys, they put the effort in. We all have to just do a better job, and that starts with me. Our fans were great tonight. The energy was great. The crowd was phenomenal. So as expected from our fans, and they have been this whole entire season, and I appreciate that, and our players do as well. You can feel that out there. That was our advantage tonight. Unfortunately, we weren't able to win the game. So some positive things, we can take away. We'll look at what the O-line did and what the D-line did, and we'll evaluate that tomorrow, and then we'll go back to work and get ready for our first road trip, and then against a really good Georgia team. All right, simple as that. So with that, questions?
Raise your hand. Back right, Jeff. State your name and affiliation, please.
Jeff Spiegel, ABC 3340 Bryan. I have no doubts that the players believe in you. How confident are you that you'll be allowed to finish out the season as Auburn's head coach?
Yeah, well, that's my job. Every day is to show up and make sure that I'm prepared and that we get this football team prepared, and that doesn't change whatsoever. And I told the team that, that's always been how I've approached each and every day of every job I've had. So that'll be no different. Tomorrow we have things we got to get better at, and win or lose, you're always going to find ways to improve as a football team. You have to. That's really what it comes down to. So that's how I'll approach each and every day. And our players know that, and everybody on our staff knows that, and it's always been the mentality that we have. And this football team, they deserve that. They deserve to have a chance to go back out and prepare themselves and to be a better football team next week. That's what we'll do, and I know those guys in that room will do that. I know our players will. I know our coaches will as well. And so we'll handle what we can control. We'll work on things that we can do to get better, and then we'll go out there and get ourselves ready for this next week, learn from this game, and move on to Georgia and get ready to play them.
Back row.
Ike Jones from the War Report. Coach, can you talk us through the decision on the 2 fourth down calls that you had on 4th and I think there were 10 and 11 there?
Yeah. Well, that was field position as well. I didn't think we were in field goal range at that point. And we had kind of our marks of where we wanted to be, and so we felt like we're going to punt it. It wasn't going to be that much of a difference if you put it in the end zone. So you're going to go for it, and we've been aggressive on that. So I still think that was the right thing to do. And we were 1 of 2 on 4th down conversions. So it really just came down to field position from that standpoint.
Front row, Brian.
Me?
Yes,
Yeah.
you.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Brian Stills, AuburnSports.com. What happened on that interception that Coy Moore threw? It seemed like there was not many receivers on that side of the field.
Yeah, there was one.
There was one
Yeah.
Shanker?
No, it was Camden Brown.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Camden Brown. So Play that we had put in, and Camden, we're trying to get him to slip through and sneak out the back. If it wasn't there, throw it away. And so they locked him up on that, and the decision would have been to throw it away there. So I don't know exactly what happened. It's on the other side of the field. Obviously, it was a turnover. That was not good. But we'll look at that play, and and that was part of our game plan. Going into this, we practiced those things, and we executed a few of them. And if it doesn't work initially, make a good decision, right? Don't make a bad play worse. And I know our guys are trying to do that, and some guys did tonight as well. They turned some plays that weren't positive into positive, or that were negative into positives. That just happened to be a negative. That was a big turnover in the game.
Front row left, Tobias.
Tobias Wilborn, mail.com. I won't bother asking how you doing. In the second quarter, you guys had a chance to get the ball with some time back. What was the thought process on calling the timeouts, and then how tough was it to get that face mask penalty?
In the end of the second half,
Yeah, no, end of the second quarter.
we had one time out there.
Yeah, you called the timeout.
Yeah.
Second down, trying to get the ball back, and then third down.
Well, that was, I think we called the timeout because we didn't have the right play.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't really about the time. It was second quarter, right?
Yeah, second quarter. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what you're asking.
Yeah, with like 150 or so left.
Yeah, so we were trying to save time.
Mhm.
Right? We were trying to utilize our timeouts early, and then and I thought we did a good job on that to save time. If you look at what we were trying to accomplish was to have some time and to utilize that, not to burn 40 seconds at a certain point, and try to keep as much time as we could to get the ball back and have a chance to go score.
And then just follow up, how tough is it when you get that penalty there when it looks like you guys got off on?
Yeah, well, I mean, the penalties hurt. They always do. I think we had 8, they had 10. I think that's right on the penalties. So yeah, anytime you have a chance to stop them and there's a penalty that extends the drive, that's obviously going to be an impact, on your team. And so those ended up being hurtful. And again, we send those plays in every single week. I couldn't tell you right now if it was or it wasn't, but the flag was thrown, and it impacted us on that drive in particular.
Back row, Jack.
Jack Patterson with WRB on Columbus. Saw a big emphasis on the passing game today. Robbie Ashford had 337 yards passing. Was that something that you guys wanted to make a point on this week?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we wanted to throw the ball, and we wanted to balance it out. We thought we could run it, throw it. I mean, really trying to be more balanced on the offensive side. We felt like we could throw the ball in this game as well, and we did. Robbie showed that. I mean, he made some really good throws. He scrambled, made some big plays. And I thought our guys, that was one area that we've emphasized, when there's a scramble, to get yourself open, to help rescue the quarterback, to try to go get a big play out of it. And he was able to find the guys tonight. And so that part of it was good. I thought the pass game and seeing that open up is going to help us in the run game, overall. And what you want is you want to balance it out. You want to be able to run and throw it and be able to move the ball down the field. Because a lot of those big plays came in the pass game. All right, that's where our chunk yardage was in the pass game, and that was good for us. And in order to move the ball down the field, be explosive, get into better field position, you got to do that. And I thought we did, some of those things well tonight. That showed up. I mean, what Robbie was able to do out there and put that up, put that many yards up, that did help us. Overall, not enough, but still, that was a positive that we can build on moving forward.
Front row, Noah.
Hey Coach, Noah Griffith from the Auburn. I just wanted to follow up on his question. With Robbie having such a big first half and not turning over the ball, not through the air, what went into the decision to let Coy throw the ball?
Yeah, well, we had a couple opportunities for guys to do that, and guys made some good decisions in there. So it didn't work. That's at the end of the day, it didn't work. And there's answers for that. Obviously, we don't want a turnover, but that happened. And it was unfortunate. I thought Coach Keesaw and the offensive staff put together a really good game plan. We were trying to get our playmakers a chance to go out there and make plays, and that one didn't go our way, but several others did. And that's the story of the game. We hit a big play on a trick play and hit Omari Kelly down the sideline. So that's part of opening it up and using some of our playmakers and players on this team to go get some big plays, and we were able to do that on some of them, and that one didn't work.
Far right, Mark.
Yeah, Coach Mark Murphy against the Auburn Tigers. How do you think Brandon Council did stepping in at center tonight?
Well, I don't know overall because I wasn't necessarily focused on the O-line and him in particular, but he snapped the ball well. You know, that's something, right? Going into a game and moving him to center and just being able to snap the ball, handle the snaps. I thought he did a good job there. He seemed really good in the huddle, you know, on the field there. And we did get, you know, we had some big runs. It was a little bit of kind of feast or famine, it felt like, in the run game. We had some big runs and we had some negatives. And that was part of our night. And I think we need to be, you know, we need to be more consistent. If we can get 4 or 5, 6, and then 12, you know, eliminate the negative twos. And now that's part of what I think their D-line is good. I thought the front seven, we said that throughout the week, I thought the front seven was good. So they were going to make some plays. They were going to penetrate. They were going to create some issues in the run game. But we did some really good things in that area. We just got to be better and more consistent because we wanted to stay on schedule. That's what we wanted to do. And we got a little off schedule with some of those plays. But overall, I think Council handled himself well. Sure seemed like that early on in the game. You know, we were moving it, and we did some really positive things there. So without really evaluating the entire performance of the O-line, because that's really what it comes down to, all 5 guys, not one in particular. But I thought his approach this week, how he handled himself, the things he did in practice, what he did extra to get himself ready to go out there and snap the ball. He spent the time, he did the work to go out there and have a good performance. And I think overall, I'm sure he did when it's all said and done. But, you know, we'll look at all those things and take that into consideration before we make any sort of final evaluation on just what we have to do and what we did well and then what we have to do moving forward.
Bro, Tom.
TomGreatnail.com. You guys are now 9-9 through 18 games. Some of these continued second half struggles. Just how would you assess where this program is at this point of your tenure?
Yeah, well, the program's right where it's at now. I mean, that's really, you know, what happened in the past. I mean, we can focus on now. That's what you have to do. That's always our focus. We can't go back and change. The records are what they are, but we can't go back and change those now. What do we do moving forward? That's really what it comes down to. And that's the message to our team and our staff, and that's always, win or lose, that has to be the focus, all right? Because you have a lot of football left to play. And for our guys, they signed up to go out there and play all these games. We all did. And, you know, if you take all what you did in the past, good or bad, and you lean on that too much, it's going to affect you in the future. And so we got to just keep learning from this one. What do we do now? What did we do well in this game? What are the things we have to do better?
Back row, Karen.
Hey Coach, Curious at WBTM out of Birmingham. So this game, it's an emotional game, and we all know that for those who love the game. And I want to ask you, you get asked a lot of questions, there's a lot of criticism, of course, that you've heard. How do you manage that? We hear the players backing you. I know you said last week you want to avoid the outside distraction, but what are you doing as a coach to make sure that you're not letting that take over, especially in a game where you don't have control what happens on the field as coach?
Yeah, I think it's really like it's life. I mean, it's the same thing. Control what you can, right? I mean, that's really what it comes down to. It's the same message you tell your players, and the same things you learned over your career as a player and a coach, and all the things you do. I think just as a person, in whatever profession you're in, like control what you can. All right. What happens for us every week? We get a chance to go out there, and people get to see what we have put together every Saturday. All right, and that's what we get judged on. We get judged on what we do every Saturday, and that's the reality of it. That's the test every week for us. There's a lot of things that we do from Sunday through Friday that's really good, and then on Saturday, that's what everybody gets to see, and we know that, and that's what you sign up for. But I think the number one thing for everybody is just control what you can control. And I think for every player in there, these guys are 18 to 22, and the message is clear, like, it's your life. All right, it's not anybody else's, and that's the one thing. And people may have opinions on that, but it's your life. And what are you gonna focus on, right? And that's got to be the number one thing. I think for every single one of us is just focus on the things you can control. What can you do better? You always have to self-assess. All right, there's that, and then take that and try to improve. And I mean that too, win or lose. You know, sometimes winning covers up a bad, maybe the standards aren't what you wanted it to be, but you still win the game. And to me, that's what you have to take away from it. All right, and learn from it. It's a challenge. It's a challenge every single week for all of us to do that, and that's part of football. That's what you sign up for, and those are things that I think overall in the long run make you better. All All right, it's just how you handle those things. How do you respond? You know, when you have something that's not going your way, how are you going to respond to it? Because you can quickly turn it around if you respond the right way, and if you don't, then you know it's going to continue to be something that affects you until you figure out how to do that.
Got two more back row.
Hey Coach, Jake Stansel with WBRC in Birmingham. Where would you say this game ranks as far as just like weird finishes that you've been a part of? I know we saw the muff punt scored, call back, and their defense recovers a fumble to keep your team in this game.
Yeah, I don't know if it's weird. I mean, this is football, right? I think there's a lot of games. I didn't watch them all today, but there's probably a lot of things that you could ask about. Where do you rank this game at? And I mean, this is football, and things happen all the time. All right, it could be the last second play. There's all things that happen in games. This was no different. It's pretty matter of fact. I mean, when you look at it, it comes down to turnovers. I thought, you know, overall yardage-wise and all that, I mean, we outgained LSU. We did a lot of really positive things, but the takeaways become a big factor. You know, and that's the difference in the game. And in order to win and win consistently, you got to find ways to be on the positive side of that, because that's just extended. That's just drives that you get back. All right, when you get those opportunities. And our defense came up big. We had the muffed punt, and then our defense went out and did exactly what they should do. They show up on the field to try to get the ball back, create momentum. They did that. They gave our offense an opportunity to answer back. And, you know, at the end of the day, the takeaways just became too much.
Front row, Nathan.
Brian, you guys have had a double-digit lead in 5 straight SEC games. Is there some sort of common thread you think you can find with some of those, or a lot of the guys after the game talked about just execution? Is it as simple as that, or is there something more you can find in that?
Well, yeah, it you know, I know there seems to be everyone wants an answer that is greater than that, but it really comes down to it, right? We're leading. We started fast. We came out and like I told our guys, I mean, we needed to start fast in this game and to bring energy and to have themselves ready to go, and that started on Sunday. That wasn't something we just made up today. But overall, yeah, it comes down to 4 quarters of really executing and doing the little things, right? So the details and things that show up, because there were plenty of things that we did that hurt ourselves, and that's going to happen in games. There's not going to ever be a perfect game, and I would never expect that from any player on the field whatsoever. But when you can start to eliminate some of those things, that's when you get, you know, more consistency within your program. And it comes down to execution, because really every single play, you know, there's a chance for you to be successful, right? And that's really why you focus on the details and why we talk about execution, because there's always a chance to be successful in each and every play. And it's just how many plays does the other team win, how many plays do you win, and at the end of it, that results in the score.
All right, Coach. Thank you very much.